What is going on to you Capricorns? So for you Capricorns, you actually have the Ten of Cups, and you have, okay, now I know what to do to clean my screen better. Okay. You have the Ten of Cups and the Seven of Swords. Okay. So these two cards right here so far for you Capricorns. Oh, you also have the Devil card, which is Capricorn. So your major arcana popped up in the reading right here. So taking matters into your own hands. But let's see. The Ten of Cups and the Seven of Swords right here speaks to this honestly speaks to how you're moving forward, getting to know brand new people. For any of you Capricorns that has been dating a jerk, someone that wants to make things difficult on you, you Capricorns are not going to be dating them for long, because you've been thinking about dumping them for a long time, and now you Capricorns actually are doing it. You don't want to have anything to do with them at all. And the thing is that the Devil card represents how this person doesn't want to leave you alone, but at the same time they want to act like they're surprised as to why you Capricorns decided to stop being with them in the first place, right? Like they're excuse me, they're thinking about how why would you leave them? And for you Capricorns, it's pretty obvious. You don't recognize who they are anymore. You thought that you knew who this person was. Now all of a sudden you don't want to have anything to do with them because of how much of a jerk they have become, right? Like in relationships, you're supposed to get better as time go on. This is why it is that I say that you're supposed to start off relatively boring, right? As boring as possible. Why? Because you don't want to end up starting a relationship exciting, because then the expectation of the need to keep up with that level of excitement and even exceed that excitement every single time is going to be there. And that's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to set the wrong example due to the fact that you're not going to be able to outdo that every single time. And number two, it's going to fry the dopamine receptors in your brain. And what I mean by that is you're gonna become so accustomed to excitement, it's not that in on itself is not going to be exciting to you anymore. So you want to be able to play with excitement, right? No pun intended, but you want to be able to use excitement to your advantage by starting off as boring as possible, because you're starting off low in excitement, which is boring. And then you get better and better as time go on. More dopamine receptors are going off. That is part of what makes you be in love. Part of it, not the whole thing, because there is a spiritual component to that, of course. But the point that I'm trying to make here with that is the excitement helps, is what I'm trying to say. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, this person who has created the whole relationship based upon excitement and everything like that, they don't understand that you Capricorns are not the short-term thinkers that a lot of you used to be, because y'all were caught up in that spell, right? That a lot of other people were all caught up in, myself included, was caught up in it for one point of time. And because of this, they don't really know what to do. The Knight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles is about how you're looking for someone better, but here they are trying to salvage the relationship. Here they are trying to make it seem like, they're going to change and things are going to get better between the two of you, when you Capricorns know it's probably not. For you single Capricorns, this means that you're going to begin dating again, and you are meeting some potential good prospects. It means that you are interacting with some people that do show you some excitement. You see what I'm saying? Because the way that they come off is decent people. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? And this is why it is that I say that modern day relationships don't make any kind of sense. It's literally a big ball of confusion, factually speaking, because on one hand, you have people who don't trust an individual who is just being nice because they don't necessarily, even though they have a backbone, because they don't necessarily have a reason to crash out. But then right, they don't trust, right? They on some street smarts type stuff. They don't trust, right? But then the hypocrisy in all of it is the fact that they don't trust, but at the same time, they can trust an individual, right, on a motorcycle and do a wheelie, and they on the back of the wheelie and they doing all types of tricks on a motorcycle. So it's like, you trust the person with your life on a motorcycle on the highway doing all these type of antics, but you don't trust somebody who just gives you a high. Like, this is the level of inconsistency. You understand what I'm saying? Of modern day relationships. It's stupid. So the Star card and the Knight of Cups right here represents how, well, since that's the case, a lot of you, Capricorns, you have the Star and the Knight of Cups. You Capricorns have started to become the change that you've been wanting to see, where you Capricorns realize that salvation is not going to come from the outside of you. It's not going to show up from the outside of you. Salvation is going to come internally, meaning that you realize that this is a wasteland. A lot of you Capricorns are, ironically, because Capricorn is a very spiritual zodiac sign. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people tend to think that you Capricorns are shallow, when in actuality, that again, this is why it is that you can't be biased against any of the zodiac signs. You just got to study them and learn to appreciate them all, because Capricorn is actually a very spiritual and sometimes religious zodiac sign. Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. A lot of you Capricorns are realizing that this is why it's very paramount. It's very important for you to pick someone wisely, because when you're choosing someone to be in a relationship with them, you're really letting down your guard and showing and telling people real deep personal information that the vast majority of people should not be knowing, right? Like, you saying things to your significant other can get you robbed in certain cases if you were to just tell this to random strangers. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of you Capricorns are realizing, or worse than robbed, but a lot of you Capricorns are realizing that a person that's going to share that kind of physical space and much more spiritual space, the space that you Capricorns have built up spiritually, right? Who you are, your characteristics, your achievements, your kindness, that is going to have to be someone that's going to be for real. Because the thing is that the Nine of Swords is, the Nine of Wands, is about, otherwise you Capricorns are realizing that you don't have a peace of mind with somebody who's ripping and running around playing. So now you Capricorns have the King of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. It has to go two ways. It has to be a two-way street. It has to be 50-50. You have to show love and the other person has to show love too. If the majority of the work is on you, or if the majority of the work is on them, whoever the majority of the work is on, it's exhausting for them. This is why it is that I keep saying that a lot of people don't want to go 50-50, but anybody that doesn't want to go 50-50 is letting you Capricorns know you shouldn't trust them. Because how is a relationship supposed to function when 70% is on you? that means that you're doing the vast majority of the work. The person is not even willing. The person doesn't even, you got to understand the principle of what I'm saying. The person doesn't even want to take half of the load or the weight off you. They're letting you know from the very beginning, yeah, you got to take on most of the work. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the work at my convenience. That's BS. Like, this is what I keep saying. If it's not 50-50, the only kind of relationship, people think that this is some sort of like option. They think that they could play with this. The only kind of relationships that work are 50-50. Because what is a relationship that isn't 50-50 looks like? It's a parasitic relationship. What does that actually factually look like? In reality, what does that look like? One person is working themselves to the bone and to exhaustion to make the other person happy, and the other person is putting in subpar work. That's factual. Let's clarify the devil card. Let's clarify that. You have the Five of Wands, the Six of Cups, the Magician, the Justice, and then you Capricorns have the Ace of Swords. So for you, the Five of Wands and the Six of Cups and the Magician, look at the magic. This person that you Capricorns stopped talking to, that you decided that relationships, right from the very beginning of the reading, that relationships should be a two-way street, they're upset at the fact that you Capricorns are choosing better than to be with somebody that wants you to do the majority of the work now. So now, but they're coming back though. So the Justice and the Ace of Swords is about how, but you don't want to be with them because you want to be in a 50-50 relationship.